Welcome to Assist Amplified, the podcast from the Assist Network, hosted by co-founder Anne Stonehouse and Goodwill Ambassador Sharon Sinclair-Williams. Our mission is to amplify the voices of women across the Tees Valley while educating, inspiring and entertaining you along the way. Each episode brings you real conversations with the incredible people who make up our network. So, let's dive in. Welcome to the Assist Women's Network podcast, Assist Amplified. I'm Sharon Sinclair-Williams, Director of the Digital Gene and Love Yourself First EFT. I'm also the Goodwill Ambassador for 2025-2026 for the network.
And I'm co-host and Stonehouse Chair and co-founder of Assist Women's Network and an accountant in my day job.
We are thrilled to welcome to the Assist Amplified podcast chair Bianca Robinson, who is CEO of CEO Sleepout and was actually our Goodwill Assist Ambassador for 2021-2022. Seems ages ago now. Bianca, tell us a little bit about your role and your day-to-day. What does it look like at CEO Sleepout?
Well, it's a big old ask. It's a big old challenge all the time. It's an amazing charity to work for. And I'm really privileged to have had this role in my life for 8 years. I bring business leaders together at events where we sleep out under the stars, just a roll mat and a sleeping bag, no frills, in the wintertime, autumn, winter, early spring. And it's to really unlock compassion, understanding, create more awareness around the big issues of social justice that homelessness presents, and also raise big money that we redistribute back to frontline charities in all of our host cities. And there's about 40 cities on the rota, but in any given year, I mean, we're a very tiny but mighty team. We can only deliver about 20 events a year with the resource we have. I say only. It's a lot.
I was just going to say, that's a lot, isn't it? Yeah. I can remember actually doing it myself in lockdown. I slept in my back garden.
I did the lockdown.
Well, that was a miracle because that was a moment in time where our livelihood, in terms of the money we could generate, was just cut off. But it was also a time where the need was greater than ever, and community groups were popping up all over the country saying, how can we help? And people were locked behind their own closed doors. They didn't know where their next meal was coming from. They did not know where their next paycheck was coming from, whether they could be furloughed or if they were self-employed, whether they could get government money. We all remember it was an absolute moment in time that, was completely unprecedented. And I just thought, what CEO Sleepout is the charity that should be doing something here. But we can't, we were hamstrung. So literally within 2 weeks, I had the idea to run a virtual sleep out. And I didn't know how it would go. I thought if we threw the doors open to every man and his dog and all comers, instead of just business people, which CEO Sleepout is very focused on business people and particularly small business leaders, SME leaders. Yeah. But I threw the doors open and allowed people to nominate charities that they wanted to donate to. And we ended up raising £125,000 from virtual sleepouts in that year.
Wow. Yeah. Was that a record year for you?
That wasn't a record year for us in terms of the charity. Yeah. Last year, the 2024 year raised £850,000.
Wow. Gosh,
the vast majority
Bianca,
of which
that's
goes
a lot
back
of money,
to,
isn't it?
It's a lot of money, and last year £750,000. So the vast majority of all those funds that are raised by all the generous people and the intrepid kind of people that take part, they mostly go out, and we keep every grant on our website, so anyone can see where the money's gone at any given time. We're a very, very lean charity, and with two of us full time now and 2 part timers, we do a hell of a job, I think.
I was just going to say, you do such a lot for just 2 of you. Yeah. Because I see you everywhere, popping up in a different city.
Yeah, across the country.
Yeah.
And I think what helps is the network. So I have ambassadors in every city. I have an army of volunteers. I have every participant talking about what they're doing. And I think that really helps to amplify what we're doing, raise the awareness, do the advertising for us, do the marketing for us. It's kind of we resource, we make use of every opportunity we've got to create some noise through other people.
Very much like the format for Assist, isn't it?
Very much.
You couldn't do it without all of those
That's
different
exactly
people
right.
It's
helping
built
out.
on goodwill.
And
Yeah.
therein lies the magic of the network.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Mm.
Built on goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell us, Bianca, how you felt when I give you that call back in 2021
Absolutely.
to be a goodwill ambassador.
Well, absolutely unreal. You've got to pinch yourself, because who am I? You know, some girl from New Zealand who thinks she knows all the things she doesn't yet know, and it's just crazy. But on reflection, 20 years of working in the Northeast and making mistakes and grafting, and I think also as a mother of twin girls who at the time were 21 years old, just fledging into their lives. It couldn't have been better timing, really, to do something like this and say, be visible, and help what the Assist network does to be more visible. And I think one of my strengths is the ability to take a message and put it out into the world and for it to land. And that's what I hoped to do.
Yeah.
When I got that call. But
you were an absolute asset to us in that. Yeah, as all our goodwill ambassadors are.
And we were just saying, aren't we, before we came on air, about women in Teesside and their visibility, but like how important it is to show up and to keep showing up.
Yeah. And using my daughters as an example, 21 they were at the time, 25 they are now, living their life in New Zealand. And they've got worldly wise parents. Me and Greg, we're well travelled. We've lived in different countries, and we've got broad views of everything. But even they really didn't have a clue about the opportunities that were out there for them. It's hard to get that message through to young people. What's available, what jobs exist in the world, what opportunities, what career choices, because what they see is a very filtered, distilled view of options, the professions, the celebrity kind of opportunity, what Instagram's showing you.
Yeah.
And the world is so much richer. The fabric of what you can do in the world it's so vast and so rich and so colourful. But even they, really didn't know.
And you've no idea what doors are going to open and what people you're going to meet,
and I think
different
it's
opportunities.
Exactly, Anne. And I think that's why I felt that there's a responsibility there to actually stand up and show other people and young people what I'm doing, a role that they wouldn't know is possible in social justice, and something that I care about. Until somebody shines a spotlight on that.
Yeah, and then you plant a tree.
Yeah, I mean that's
a tree for you. You go in Teesside Archives. It's a legacy position,
Absolutely.
really.
Well, that's the big. That for me, that's a really big honour. That's a really big honour.
That's massive, isn't it?
Yeah. If that's going to be there hundreds of years,
I know.
long after I'm gone.
People will be able to look back and say, like I always think of that "Who Do You Think You Are" programme. If somebody was looking through your family tree and they'll go, "Oh, there's great grandma so and so. She's listed in those archives."
And she did it in Teesside. And I think, when I first landed in Teesside, there was an awful lot of a lack of self-belief. As an observer, coming from another country, I have a very objective take on Teesside, its legacy, its future, its past, as the engine room of the UK, as this powerhouse that generated not
so
only
much,
genuine power, but wealth.
The
wealth that Teesside generated, and then the rug was ripped out of Teesside brutally, very, very brutally economically. And I landed in 2002 at a time where, it was kind of a broken area. It was heartbroken or something. And it couldn't see itself. It couldn't see its potential at that time.
That's such a good
really
description
sensed-
of it. I really like that. The fact that the rug was pulled from under us when we went through a period of thriving, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Through the Industrial Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I landed where there were people working really hard, people doing incredible things. There were still some businesses out there doing fantastic. Steve Gibson had really invested in the town and the club, and all these amazing things were happening. but it was kind of green shoot time, I think. After the rubble, it was green shoots, and there was a pervasive sense of almost hopelessness. Oh, we can't do this because, we can't do that because, in the circles that I was in. And I just couldn't, I really couldn't get my head. I come from a completely different mindset. And as I grew in the business world in Teesside sort of grew, Teesside's confidence grew
You were sort of alongside it, that journey.
alongside so I
Yeah.
evolved alongside the journey of Teesside's confidence growing.
Yeah.
And I was kind of part of that. But
Yeah.
for me, a lot of mistakes made, a lot of learnings, a lot of joy and pain together, which always two sides of a coin all the time. But I felt it was really important for Teesside and for us now to recognise how far we've come in the last 20-25 years, how women in business in Teesside have really flourished and are being noticed nationally and internationally for all different things and for all their different gifts and the efforts that they've made to bring positivity and business to Teesside. And I think
It's so important for us to talk about this, isn't it? We've got to keep talking about it, not stop.
We need to do it.
Yeah.
We need
And
to do it more.
I always do say, those early days, I used to walk into chamber meetings and networking, and it was a sea of men in suits.
Yeah.
One or two female faces, and I bonded instantly with Anne, and I bonded instantly with various other people in the Teesside business network. There's a few people who've always been there, kind of just quietly doing their thing.
Still doing. We're still doing.
Yeah, still doing it.
We're still doing, and that's really nice because you've actually took us very well into the next question.
This episode is sponsored by Ruth Smith, who is the Feel Amazing therapist. Her mantra is simple: you are amazing. But in the busyness of life, especially for women juggling so many plates and wearing so many hats, it's easy to forget. Ruth supports women through life coaching, Reiki, cold water therapy, and a variety of uplifting workshops, all designed to help you reconnect with yourself and truly feel amazing. Find out more at thefeelamazingtherapist.co.uk.
So you've been part of Assist for well over a decade now, haven't you? Assist is 16. And yes, we met, didn't we? Hit it off straight away. So you've seen Assist evolve over them years from a very small network, very business focused, into all the different projects we work on, which some of them are a little bit political and policy changing, but there's a lot of empowerment there as well, women supporting women. And as Goodwill Ambassador, one of the projects you stayed on with and are still working with us, thankfully, on is the mentoring. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the mentoring?
Yeah, well, the mentoring is, I think it's a really important thing for me to be able to offer any learnings I've had in my career and pay that forward. And I think mentoring, it's not only valuable for the person being mentored, but it's really valuable for me as a mentor. I think really it's about walking alongside someone else while they test out their ideas and move through their journey, and just walking alongside and just being a fair friend, not somebody who imposes, you should do this, and this. Although if somebody asks me, I will, I won't hold back. I'm very direct like that. I'll say, well, I'll say what I think. But actually, the more important part of that is you've got this.
Yeah,
you've got this. And if you want to try something, it doesn't work, it's all good.
Tweak it.
It's
just having that support means so much, doesn't it? To be able to test and bounce things off.
Yep.
Each other.
Yep. So I had a fantastic mentee through Assist called Emily. She's an artist, but she wanted to commercialise her art through workshops, and really the marketing piece was the big the big thing that she needed to kind of get her head around. And of course, that's my background. That's my messaging really, and marketing channels
And
is
Emily
something I
got to
could really help
choose
with.
you as well, didn't she? So
She chose me.
So we actually in our mentoring
The chosen
matching,
one.
in our mentoring matching, we as a team don't match.
Okay.
We actually put the mentors out there with a very small bio, and depending what, like Emily wanted marketing, like the mentees get to choose what sort of skill set they are looking for the year
Right.
ahead.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we have our mentees making that choice.
Yeah.
So there's actually they've actually took ownership of the relationship right from day one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it worked great,
And
didn't
I think
it?
it just resonated.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she probably thought quite a lot about who would resonate with her. She's a very spiritual person.
She is.
And she I think she really took the time to read and think about who, we had that first interview, and we worked really, really well together. And I think that Emily, I mean, I had some breakthroughs working with her. So it comes back as, it's an energy that's flowing two ways. And I realized through working with Emily that I had neglected a creative side of myself that was desperate to come through.
Oh, that's so
Desperate.
interesting, isn't it? That
Yeah.
you found that through
Yeah.
through that relationship.
It's two way. It's always two way. And I think if anyone's going into mentoring, to go into it with that open spirit of, what can I, what
is
can
a
I
learning
offer,
space.
but I'm ready to gain something from it as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a magical alchemy that can take place.
And Emily's thriving in business now, isn't she?
She's doing fantastically well, and her offer's just great, and it's
It
fun.
is.
And she's cracked the code because she's living her purpose, which is to create art. She's sharing it with others, and she's inspiring others to open that side of themselves up as well. So I think she's in the sweet spot, old Emily.
Creativity in this world of AI is a massive thing, isn't it? Because that's going to be the standout. Somebody who's got a really creative business like that is really going to thrive and flourish, I think.
Created and interpersonal.
I was just going to say she makes the workshops fun, doesn't she?
I don't know her. I need to meet her.
I've
not come across Emily.
Right away.
With a bit of wine.
Oh,
but also
sip and pick.
Oh, that sounds it.
And
I think we need to do an event about that, Anna, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah, and also if you walk down the street and your paths cross, you just recognise each other as two people who were meant to meet. So I think that there's something about that. I think the other thing is, I mean, it can't be understated how important creativity is going to be in the world. Genuine human creativity. Doing that dance of bringing beauty, joy, wonder, making social commentary, all the things that art does into the world. Really important. But the other thing is this face-to-face.
Yeah, and being present.
Face-to-face time and being present and holding space, the new age phrase, isn't it? But really holding space for someone to allow their gifts to come through. And mentoring, there's a part of mentoring that where you do that. But with AI and everything homogenized, everything standardized, everything available without having any thought process or any divine inspiration or anything.
In seconds.
Within milliseconds.
Yeah.
Do you really want your brain to become a bowl of porridge? Because that's what's going to happen.
It is, I know, absolutely.
If you allow AI
If you don't, well, it's a
you know,
muscle, isn't it? If you don't use it, it's just going to wither away.
Absolutely.
Die off.
So all of these things are going to be premium. And this brings us back to the loop of the network, the face-to-face, the interpersonal, the interactions. That's the value, and that's going to be highly, highly valued in the future.
Absolutely is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I guess that brings us quite nicely to the fact that every goodwill ambassador now gets to choose what we're calling a legacy project. This podcast is actually my legacy project. At the time, it wasn't called that. It didn't have that name for you, but I guess understanding now that the mentorship was actually your legacy project. And can you tell us, you're probably thinking, was it? But it was.
It's quite overwhelming to think that that's what developed out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, all of that stuff that you've been achieving, we could probably sit here all day and talk about it. But apart from Emily, which obviously was a massive, massive result, and you said how much it worked both ways. And we're really feeling it in this room at the minute, aren't we? How wonderful it obviously
bless
was for you. Are you okay? Were there any other standouts of that time for you?
It was 2021, so we had come through the pandemic, and we'd come through being separate, and I think that's also the time where Assist found its heart beat.
Oh.
And we were frantically running to try and find which paths to
Yeah.
go down.
Where we're
if I
going to
remember
go.
Where's the
rightly.
need?
Yeah.
Very
We're
much.
scanning. Where's the need? Well, the need
Yeah,
is connection.
yeah.
The need is people just actually needed a handhold through that time, and then worked that out very, very early on in the network, and
You are good like
got
that.
Assist actually, I guess, probably there's probably a lot of women out there thinking, God, thank God I had Assist during that
Yeah,
time.
to
you
fall
know,
back on.
just to connect with people,
Yeah.
to make sure to sense check what I'm doing, to kind of have accountability in my work, all of the things, and Assist provided that at the time. So, I was a beneficiary of that myself. And I think come 2021, to be asked to kind of be a voice and a face, a flag bearer for Assist, that I was really immersed in it at that time, and it was the right time, I think, for me to do that. And
Almost like a life raft for people, isn't it, sometimes?
Yeah.
When you're looking and searching for something and you want that sort of support from other women, I think.
Yeah, and
Can't
I
beat
just
it.
we talked through so many different ideas. The mentoring was just one, a seat at the table was another, and it was this time of sense checking and how's it going to land, and how's it going to work, and it was the green shoots time for Assist.
Yeah.
I know it's massively evolved since then. Obviously, that's what started,
Yeah,
didn't it?
yeah. Beyond that, and me just going back to the as you were saying, that 2021, we were trying to find our feet, and you, with your skill sets, you offered a lot internally as well. So you helped us look at brand and messaging and things like that. So there was a lot of internal work that you give to the team, the committee, in that time.
You've done way more than you realise, haven't you?
And we are obviously very grateful for everybody. Like Assists. It's a very complicated machine, but there's so many tiny moving parts constantly, with lots and lots of people giving their goodwill, time, and effort. And I think most people think that what they give is not much, and they walk away. But actually, the
It all
bigger
spreads
picture
out.
is everybody plays a really important cog in that wheel, and are very valued for over the years what anybody has put into that, because that's how we're here today, really, isn't it?
I mean, I must say, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to take all the credit for the mentoring. I was one of like 6.
We've got a steering group, haven't we?
Yeah,
We've got a steering group.
and I think there are people that offered a lot of practical stuff, like Rosie, for example.
Yeah.
Suzanne offered a lot of guidance stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like I was just there being the enthusiastic champion for it, really. Sort of along for the ride, going, yes, let's kind of make it happen.
You're
And sometimes
underselling yourself
sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah.
You need a champion, and that's kind of the what I take through.
I was just going to say she's massively
completely
underselling
underestimated.
herself there.
Yeah, absolutely underestimating. Even down the web page is all your messaging for the mentoring. You sort of like took the.
She'd forgotten about that part. We're bringing it all back, Bianca, aren't we?
So, but that's like any part of Assist. We are very much a team, aren't we? And we all throw ideas into the hat, and we all take what we think and run with. And run with them parts. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. True.
So you were going to talk next about how it's developed the mentorship, weren't you?
Yeah. So we're going into the next cohort, and we've sort of shook it up a little bit, and we've narrowed it down now to 10 months for each mentor and each mentor pair. So that means we take the summer off every year. Should we talk a little bit about what the mentoring program is now?
Yeah, so the mentoring program The mentoring program is it's available for somebody to apply to become a mentor. We obviously need anyone who thinks they're ready to share some wisdom, learnings, journey with somebody else, but also for people to come and be mentored. And there's no limits on, you know, how old you are.
We love reverse mentoring as well.
Reverse mentoring.
One of our key things is reverse mentoring. So we like to spotlight the skills of the younger generation, very tech, and some of us more mature women are not great at that. That doesn't include you two, but it definitely does me.
Well, believe me, this.
So the reverse mentoring is a good way to share them other skills that the younger generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how would somebody actually get involved with the programme then? What are the steps that they would need to take?
So jump on the website, assistnetwork.co.uk, and look at the mentoring page, and it's all there because, I wrote it. No, it's all
that
there in
part
this form.
that you'd forgotten
So you
about.
fill in, so I want to mentor, I want to be mentored, and you fill in the little form, and then what happens is you can sort of choose and select your ideal mentor from the pool of mentors.
It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that, and
people
it
to get
really
in
is a lovely
touch.
thing. And it's kind of a, you're not asked to go away and do a million tasks and homework unless you want to. You just meet with your mentor once a month for 10 months
Yeah.
for an hour Zoom call or whatever, or a coffee. There's safeguarding around that. So, there's guidelines around face-to-face meetings, but they can happen. And you do you.
Yeah.
You sort of do you. You co-create it with your mentee. And then we sense check it as mentors back with the group. We've done this, we've done that, and that can go into the pool of learnings. So it's all good. It's all easy peasy.
Simple.
I do want to say I have had a mentoring experience that didn't work out so well. And that's also okay. That's also okay.
Yeah. Because it's
can't-
about creating the vibe as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't always
And circumstances
work out.
get in the way.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
often
Life
that's
gets in the
often
way with
case,
stuff.
for mentees, exactly that. Life gets in the way. So sometimes it doesn't be that full 10 months.
So it's
does
okay
it?
to shake
Yeah,
hands and
that's-
part ways.
Yeah.
If you feel for whatever reason that needs to happen, and I that was a big learning for me, not to beat myself up. I didn't fail. I did not fail in that. It just was one of those things that there's circumstantial stuff that meant that it couldn't develop in the way it was meant.
And it's all a learning curve, isn't
Yeah,
it, for everybody?
absolutely.
So it's for anybody listening now to this podcast, it's really, really simple. Just get on the website now. If you're looking for some mentoring advice, that's what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've come to this time again, Anne, haven't
Yes.
we? So we often find as women, Bianca, that we don't like shouting about ourselves. We don't amplify our own voices. And towards the end of every episode, Anne and I have decided that we're going to ask our guests this question. Are you ready for this?
Oh God.
Spotlight.
Bianca, do you feel comfortable talking about yourself and bragging about your achievements?
Yes, I do.
Fantastic! Oh,
and not in a
wonderful.
bragging way though. Not
Yeah.
just. I think it's really important. I'm so done with one's hiding someone's light under a bushel, and I think as
Absolutely.
women we are so conditioned to be modest,
Yeah.
to be to hide our light, and I think it's a shame. I think it's doesn't do the world a service. I think it's really important that you acknowledge your gifts, your achievements, your talents,
and take that
your
recognition.
role. You acknowledge your
Yeah.
role in whatever whatever domain that role exists in, and I don't think you need to shout about it, but I do think that you do yourself a disservice if you hide it.
You need to acknowledge it. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a wonderful answer, Bianca. I'm so pleased that
Yeah.
you are that person that you can share this knowledge with everybody.
Yeah, and I do get accused of, the ego's in the building, or the ego's left the building, or being arrogant, or whatever. I don't care.
No, I was going to say.
I actually
so
don't
what?
care.
But
It's a very grounded place I come
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
And, I know what I'm capable of doing. I know what my talents are.
Yeah.
I know that when I use them, good things happen. And I've proven that. And that's all there is to it, really.
Such wonderful messaging there, Bianca. Just tell us, how would you sum it up?
I would say if your light's shining too bright for somebody else and they don't like it, tell them to put their sunglasses on.
I love it. I love it. Get those shades on, mate.
So, Assist is a networking organisation. To finish off, what is your networking top tip?
Be open-hearted. Walk into every room with the intention of learning something new about someone and gaining something that you didn't previously know about someone, and that there may be maybe a gold nugget hiding in that room for you, and it's your job to uncover that, and that requires letting your barrier down, being vulnerable, talking to people, connecting with people.
Wow, thanks so much for your insight on that. That was a really good top tip. I'm going to take that one.
Thank you.
Bianca, thanks so much for joining us today and sitting in the Assist Amplified podcast chair. It's been a pleasure to have you chat with us.
My pleasure.
Anne and I have really enjoyed ourselves, haven't we?
Yes.
Thank you.
Always love
Thank
spending
you.
time with Bianca.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you, Anne, for letting me be part of the fabric of.
For such a long time.
You'll make me cry now.
Such a long time. Such a long time. Happy tears. Happy tears. Thanks, Bianca.
Thank you, Bianca.
Thank you. Today's episode was proudly sponsored by Ruth, the Feel Amazing Therapist. She'll show you how to top up your confidence and feel your very best self. Visit thefeelamazingtherapist.co.uk for more information. Thank you so much for listening to Assist Amplified, the legacy project of our Goodwill Ambassador, Sharon Sinclair-Williams. If you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe, share, and join in the discussion, because when we amplify one voice, we amplify them all, and change really happens.